You know, I like my old list. Sure, the audio quality wasn't too great, but I still liked many of the jokes I had. Still, we've had quite a few fighting games come out since then, each coming with their own unique special moves. So, I felt I should make another list. Couple rules, the usual, one per franchise, and I'm judging them based off which ones I think are the coolest. But, no special move from the previous list will be on this list. Let's get started. Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm Revolution. 3 and Knuckles featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series. I have mixed feelings about the ultimate jutsus from this game. They all go by way too fast, and almost every single one is a giant explosion. Oh, don't get me wrong, you can certainly tell a lot of love and care went into these, but it's kind of disheartening when everyone's super special epic jutsu can be easily swapped out with the other. When everyone's super, no one is. As a result, it was difficult for me to pick which ADD explosion was the best out of 100 ADD explosions. Choosing one made me feel like a sort of snobbish connoisseur of explosions.
Though, one must chuckle at the amusement one receives when one realizes how after these sophomoric explosions take place, the surrounding areas are illogically untouched. But using my patrician taste, I've decided to give number 10 to Tailed Beast Barrage. Father and son create one giant explosion together. They use the show's Flying Thunder God technique to teleport themselves to the throne kunai, delivering a series of hot racing strikes to the opponent. They continuously do this, forming a yellow and orange energy ball silhouette, which creates another succulent, massive explosion, dealing great damage in the process that somehow leaves the surrounding area completely undamaged.
That is friggin' awesome!
Fight me!
Nope. Man, I really want to pick Final Explosion again, but that would be violating my own rules. And you know what? That attack's greatness requires a knowledge of the show to begin with, so let's go with something almost as cool, but requires no context, and isn't from DBZ Budokai 3, just its unofficial sequel. Enter Janemba's Spike Hell. After surrounding you in stamina-sapping strawberry jello, Janemba gleefully shatters the dimensional barriers and uses the pieces to give you the death of 1,000 cuts. This was really hard to choose. Like Naruto, when every other attack in DBZ is firing another giant laser or death ball, I started to want something unique and different, but still just as awesome and flashy. So for me, I guess you could say Spike Hell is more like Spike Heaven.
Okay, who wrote this? It was me. I did it.
I was incredibly surprised we got a new Killer Instinct, considering, rare. I was even more surprised that it was actually good, considering the company that helped make it was known previously for less than stellar movie tie-ins, and eventually went on to create games like Strider. Good on them. I loved all the little changes they made to the game, including making the Ultra combos into freaking musical battle cries. All of them have this really cool rhythm to them and are guaranteed to make you headbang. Since they're all pretty much the same, I'm going with the one that looks the coolest and has the best beat. Take it away, Jago! Someone remix this shit. Relius Clover from Blaze Blue is a man so evil, he turned his own wife and daughter into cyborg puppets for the sake of research. This complete lack of empathy and desire for knowledge even extends into his astral finish. Admittedly, this particular special move is not really all that flashy, especially when compared to Sephiroth needing to eat his heart out. Though what it lacks in awesomeness factor, it makes up for in frightening and disturbing implications. Once Relius activates his astral finish, his puppet wife grabs them and the screen fades to black. It fades back into only what we can assume is Relius' home. His opponent is tied up and Relius says,
"Let the experience begin."
The door closes, leaving the opponent's grisly fate to your imagination. The interesting thing is, depending on the person Relius uses this on, the character is confined in a special way. Several of these are funny, others actually look kinda cool, but some of them look more at home in 50 Shades of Grey.
Let's enjoy ourselves, yes?
Let's not. Next!
There were a lot of really cool new Final Smashes added to Smash Bros. 4. Several involve you just wailing on a guy DBZ style, others involve hitting a guy to another world where characters from that world kill them, and others... The one I'm selecting for this list is one of the second kind, taking a person off the stage and that person just getting destroyed by multiple sources. Regardless of how bad the other fighters get it from these attacks, the one that got wrecked the most in the end for this one was Capcom.
Mega Man!
Everything about this one just works. The camera angles, the nostalgia from Mega Man 9's Black Hole Bomb, the 5 different versions of Mega Man joining together and shooting an epic laser at their opponent. Sakurai treated Mega Man fans better than the company that makes the actual Mega Man games. He's all like, oh, is Capcom not giving you a Mega Man? Well, we'll give you Mega Man!
Fighting to save the world!
At the time of making this, I haven't finished Persona 4 yet, but I really like the upbeat tone, yet how it delves into some dark subject matter. Some have called it the happiest game about murders. And guess what? It's got a fighting game spin-off, complete with its own set of over-the-top special moves. A lot of these moves are fittingly named, like Galactic Punt, in which Chie punts the enemy into orbit before you can say Team Rocket, the Man series Brofist, in which Kanji and his persona brofist you to death from both sides, and my favorite, Junpei's explosive level up Grand Slam! The attack itself has Junpei summon his persona named Trismegistus, say that 3 times fast, who grabs the opponent and flies up high with him. Trismegistus, who as an aside looks awesome, takes the opponent into space where somehow they aren't freezing to death, where they are then dropped all the way back to Earth. As they are still burning up in the atmosphere, Junpei smashes his opponent so hard it breaks his baseball bat in half.
If the bat hadn't broken, that's where I'd lose my suspension of disbelief. Not the whole Greco-Egyptian deity takes you into space thing.
The force sends the opponent, who is still on fire by the way, flying into a scoreboard which gets destroyed on impact. Even though several of the other instant kills are just as flashy and several of them reference Greek mythology, this one I feel speaks to me on several levels. Can't imagine why. Skullgirls is an indie production that almost feels like a celebration of art. Everything is just a marvel to look at. Every character and animation is lovingly hand-drawn in a distinct visual style. This is shown by each character's mock poster, encompassing everything from old circus advertisements, film noir, 1920s cartoons, Hollywood horror films, and number 4 on this list, modern shock horror. At first, Valentine seems like the typical appeal to the male gaze character. Which isn't true. There are plenty of other characters in Skullgirls that equally fit the bill. Anyways, number 4 goes to Valentine's level 3 blockbuster, Dead on Arrival.
Tell me where it hurts.
I mean, with the skull face and the blood and red eyes and...
Hey Doc, I want to cancel my appointments. Forever. This is why we don't have free healthcare in America.
Mortal Kombat X introduced a lot of eye-popping new fatalities guaranteed to make your spine tingle. Several of them were mind-blowingly spectacular. It rips me apart inside to pick just one, and it comes at the risk of my choice making you feel empty. There aren't too many juicy fatalities to pick from, and several are so gut-bustingly funny that I feel compelled to say something about several of them. But let's cut to the chase and give you number 3, no strings attached. Okay, I lied. I'm gonna give you the top 5 jokes about Mortal Kombat X fatalities, with number 1 being number 3 on this list. You following me? Too bad. Here we go.
Now you're thinking with portals. Next Saturday on The Walking Dead. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Oh!
Cassie wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
I don't have a joke for this. Those are just funny.
Leave it to the kings of stupidly flashy and stupidly complex to make an equally stupidly flashy and stupidly complex fighting game, complete with stupidly flashy and stupidly complex finishers. Oh, don't get me wrong, I mean this in an endearing way, especially with what is widely considered to be the best one, the Regnum Day. This finisher pulls out all the stops. Feral Chaos smashes you through the walls of reality itself to a giant flaming arena where he continues to wail on you, then lifts you up, impales you with 7 swords,
I counted.
and then punches you in the face so hard it shuts your game off. From first person. Though I had to take issue with the name Regnum Day, which translates to Kingdom of God. It doesn't relate to what's going on in the attack at all. Or does it? Maybe there's some deep and meaningful symbolism that the creators had in mind. Or it's just Latin because they thought it sounded cool.
Which it does. I think.
You know, everyone in the DC universe is ridiculously overpowered when you get down to it. Every other guy can break the speed of light, dimensions, time, yeah. And I liked how Injustice Gods Among Us embraced that. Many of the finishers are beyond ridiculous and show how hardcore DC superpowers are when you think about them deeply enough. So here, I'm giving number 1 to Flash's super move, Speed Zone.
That is awesome.
Running around the world and delivering a sucker punch at that speed? That's really gotta hurt. And yet for some reason, the second punch does more damage. Why is that? I've racked my brain on this for a while, but I can't figure it out. To try and explain this, I've enlisted the help of RL Yoshi because he is far better at physics than I.
Well, there's a lot going on here. Keep in mind these are only rough calculations due to the nature of the scene, but it's the most accurate one we can really get with the information provided. We can see in the cutscene that, assuming each scene of Flash running is continuous with each other, he runs from his spot all around the world and back to the same position in 7.34 seconds. And through careful focusing and lots of rewatching of the clip, we can tell that he's constantly accelerating as he runs. Notice how he takes a comparatively long amount of time to run off the right side of the planet, but is faster when he comes back on from the left, and that's not even accounting for how he spends basically no time on the side of the planet we can't see. Long story short, I calculated his acceleration to average out to 1,931,366.88 meters per second squared. Now, the Flash's weight is 195 pounds or 88 kilograms, so we now know his mass as well. Applying Newton's second law of motion, force equals mass times acceleration, we can determine that the force of the Flash's special attack is roughly 169,960,285 newtons.
Okay, that's a lot of big numbers. Can we get some context for this?
Oh, sorry, a wrecking ball typically weighs 1,000 pounds. Now, imagine a wrecking ball the same size, but weighs about 340 times that of a normal wrecking ball, and that wrecking ball hitting you at 160 miles per hour. By all accounts, Flash's punch would make a normal guy explode.
Ouch. So, any particular reason the second punch is stronger?
Nope.
What?
Seriously. If the opponent kept moving in a constant direction before getting interrupted by Flash's second punch, it would make sense that the force required to make him change direction would explain the increased damage. But here we see the opponent move upwards parabolically and drop slightly, indicating the original force exerted is now gone. There is no logical accounting for the second punch's increased damage. Guess science can't explain everything when it comes to video games.
I'm the Fiery Joker, and DC physics are bullshit.
Kaboom!